So I had the privilege of growing up in a family that took us down to the beach. I started nippers at the age of 9, so I started right in the beginning. It was something that just kind of like started to work for me, and by the time I got to the 12 and under age group, I was a good board paddler, and I won a national title then.
Yeah, I think I started exactly like these little kids did. I mean, I was at school and my friend said, come down and do some nippers. 9 years old, went onto the beach. I was absolutely petrified. A year later, you couldn't get me out of the water, and I think that's one of the things that nippers does to you. It teaches you about the sea, gets you into it, and that was my career. I mean, I literally went from the age of 10, I represented South Africa about 9 times for about 7 or 8 years. Won about 17 medals at World Champs over the 8 years that I competed. Stopped racing when I was almost 35, so yeah, 25 years of racing, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
I finished school in '88 and '89, so at the age of 17, I didn't even turn 18, I got selected for a junior Springbok team, even on a borrowed board, and I finished school at like 68 kilos. It didn't look like the athlete, but I knew there was something there, and we traveled to Taiwan and Hong Kong. We competed against an Australian team that needed to beat us to claim world title status. I think we actually won the relay at that event. I went on from there to '92, I made the national team. In Australia, I raced against Trevor Hendy, probably the best board paddler Australia's ever had. That gave me a lot of confidence. Went on to World Champs in Japan, and I was in the mix. You know, I could have medaled there, and it was just touch and go. It took me a couple of years to really get it, to nail it down. '94, we raced in England. Had a bad setup in the shore break. We had great conditions, just a slight wrong approach in the shore break. But I won a world title. A lot of emphasis, or a lot of importance was placed on that. And suddenly, you know, people knew about me and, you know, what I'd achieved. But, you know, the reality was, it was years and years of just enjoying my board paddling and sticking to the basics of lifesaving, you know.
The guys like myself and a lot of other guys, we all competed against each other. Now it's our kids competing against each other.
So exactly what I did 30 odd years ago is what our kids are doing, and it's amazing. I think it's harder because now it's not about just doing it for yourself. You're not trying to like read it and try and encourage them and let them do it for themselves. But it's so nice for them to experience what we've experienced. And I know the richness of the sport, you know, nippers and being involved in an event like this. Even with the conditions we've got here today, it's tough, but they're going to get heaps of experience and heaps of benefit and life skills that are just, they're invaluable.
That's one of the things I say to my kids, you know, this, in all honesty, is one of those sports that teaches you so much about life. Guys catch away from behind, you got to learn to be disappointed, you got to learn to get dealt a bad card. So there's not many sports where you can take the best and they're going to have something that can potentially make them disappointed.
Unlike some of your other sports where you're looking at swimming and athletics, where literally the fastest competitor wins the race and it's over, the kids behind can be a little bit despondent and they might find that that's not their niche. However, in lifesaving, you can be one of those competitors lying 4th or 5th, and if you've got the desire to win, you're always going to be able to find a wave, and you could be the guy that's always going to be the 4th or 5th fastest, but you could be on the podium, you could be the winner.
A lot of the events, you can be the best, but you make one tiny mistake and it's over. Whereas, you know, you do a sprint race, Wade's there, he wins. Yeah, you can be winning and literally not even come in the top 10.
For me, that's the life skill that I got out of it, is where you just keep putting your head down, you keep persevering, because like in life, there's that wave that comes along that just puts you out in front. You might not look like the best, you might not have the best results historically, but on the day you get up and you take the chances that come to you and you make the most of it. Some people say lifesaving is about luck, but the harder I trained, the more opportunities that I got and the more waves came along for me to ride.
It doesn't take long for them to learn it. I mean, like I said, when I first went in the water, I was petrified. I mean, I still remember to this day, swimming around the pier at North Beach, and the coach said, okay, swim around the pier, and I looked at him and said, pardon me, you know? But 6 months later, we were playing around the pier. I mean, I've had times I stood in the start line and, you know, kneel down to a kid and you say, hey, dude, come on, you can do this. And he believes. And the moment that child believes, and he comes back and he's high-fiving his friends, and that's the satisfaction you get of seeing the guys. All of a sudden, he believes he can get in the water, he can do that, you know? But then you do get the other kids that they're not afraid. They just go full on, you know? But they also learn. The sea will teach them a lesson and then they're a little bit nervous. So yeah, it's a great leveler, but it's good fun.
There's so much value around being outdoors, being active, and your body just adapts and you just start to grow and you start to do things that you didn't think you could do, and it creates confidence. Like even my own kids, they're looking at the conditions today and they're going, hey, but it's too big and it's too scary. But what happens is they all get into it together and suddenly they realize they can do what they thought they couldn't. And for all of us in life, if we can just take on the things we thought we couldn't do, we achieve so much more.